2023, right? Paper 1. Question 1. So what is the value of digit 2 in the number 48.621? 2 is in the hundreds column, so therefore it'll be 2 over 100, that is E. Question 2. What percentage of 50 is 10? As you know, in a case like that, it'll be 10 over 50 by 100%. You know, that's 1/5, that's 20%, which is B. Number 3, in standard notation, 0.02086 is written as we are aware, you put the point between the first and second digits is between 2 and 0. And when you put the point between the 2 and the 0, you will have to move the point 2 places to your left to get back to where it was. So you'll be multiplying by 10 to the power minus 2. As you know, the minus mean you have to move the point to your left. So C is your answer, 2.0806 by 10 to the power minus 2. Number 4, in a school, the ratio of the number of pupils to the number of teachers 20 to 1. If the number of pupils is 840, how many teachers are there? Simply put, if there are 20 students to every one teacher, just divide 840 by 20, you'll get 42, and multiply 42 by 1 to get you back 42, right? So 42 teachers in that school, that's B. Number 5, bag of apples can be shared equally among either 6, 10, or 15. The minimum number of apples that is likely to be in the bag is. So in a case like this, you're looking for LCM of 6, 10, and 15. You just take the largest of the 3 numbers, which is 15, and you find multiples of 15 that 6 and 10 could also go into. Now, the second multiple of 15, that's 15 by 2, is 30, and 6 and 10 could go into 30. So we don't know immediately, hey, the LCM is 30, that's A. All right, number 6, 4.3 by 0.37 is 1.591. What is 43 by 0.37? If you notice, the only difference that they're asking for is when you move the point 1 place to your right, and all you need to do is move the point also 1 place to your right to get 15.91. That's B. Number 7, which of the following is defined by X being a member of your real numbers? Actually, more than just member of the numbers, whole numbers, and X is between -2 and 4, including -2 and 4, it's simply put, right? So you have -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is D. Number 8, refer the Venn diagram with 2 intersecting sets P and Q. N of P is 5, N of Q is 9, N of P union Q is 10. The one number of elements in the shaded region. This is basically with P intersecting Q. Formula is N of P plus N of Q minus N of P intersect Q would give me N of P union Q. All right. So I'm just saying, well, this would be what? 5, add what? 9. 5 and 9, and you're minusing, let's call this Y, because we don't know what it is, and that's equal to what? 10. So, and that's going with this here. 5 and 9 is 14, 14 minus Y is 10, okay? And making Y the subject, you'll get 14 minus 10, to carry the 10 on this side, carry minus Y here, okay? And you'll get 4 as your answer, B. Number 9, which of the following pairs of sets is an example of disjoint sets? Well, disjoint sets mean the sets are not connected in any way or any form or fashion, okay? And that'll be A, because guess what? You have no numbers that could be both even and odd at the same time, okay? Simply put. So that's A there. Number 10, all students in our class play Scrabble or checkers or both. If 36% of the students play Scrabble only, 16% of students play both Scrabble and checkers, what percentage of students play checkers but not Scrabble? What you're really asking for is the number of students who play checkers alone. Now, the entire class will comprise 100%, and you add 36 and 16, that will give you 54. Subtract 54 from the 100%, give you a remaining of 48%, which would be the number of students who play checkers alone. And that is B. So 11 again is another Venn diagram showing the intersection between H and V. H is the students who play hockey. V represent the set of students who play volleyball. U are students who play games. How many students play either hockey or volleyball but not both? Who play either hockey or volleyball but not both? It'll be 5, add 4 to give you 9. That's C. Number 12, the set of two-digit positive integers that are divisible by 7 is an example of, well, it'll be a finite set because guess what? Two-digit numbers that are positive will be limited. It will only go up to 99, and it's all the numbers between 1 and 99 or between 0 and 99 that could be divided by 7, and that's a limited number, making it a finite set. Number 13, for every $100 sales or part thereof, a salesman is paid $10 as commission. If his sales for a particular month were $1,020, how much commission was he paid? In a case like this, we take the 10, we pay it over 100, multiply by 1,020, you'll get 1 or 2. Now, people may pick 1 or 2, but remember, he's paid $10 for every $100 sales or part thereof. So it's not possible for him to get $102. He'll be getting paid in tens. So the nearest figure will be $110. Number 14, simple interest on $600 for T years at 5% per annum is 120. Value of T is, well, T is 100 by SI divided by your principal by rate. So it's 100 by 120 divided by your principal, which is 600 by your rate of 5%. That is B. Number 15, at a bank, $2.60 EC is equivalent to $1. For every $1 exchange, 10 cents EC is deducted as an exchange tax. How many EC dollars will Leon receive if he exchanges $1,000? Essentially, we will want to multiply the 1,000 by 2.6, but we have to remember the 0.1. So you're already multiplying by 2.5, okay? You subtract the 0.1 from 2.6 to get 2.5. So it's really 1,000 by 2.5, you get 2,500 EC. That's C. The maths paper 1 exam is like right there. And if you truly want to solidify that 1 in maths, you should try to get your hands on the mathematics multiple choice booklet that termed as Future Questions with CSEC. You for sure will be able to guarantee yourself a great and excellent chance in doing well in that paper 1 exam. 16, a calculator which is marked at $120 is sold for cash at 30% discount. How much change would Susan receive if she pays for the calculator with a $100 bill? So if we find 30% of 120, okay, and we get $36, although I would love to just show it quickly. All right, and that will give me $36. What do I do after that is I subtract the $36 from 120. Okay, and that'll give me $84. And then the change from a $100 bill, I'll just put change, would be 100 minus 84, and that'll give me $16. Okay. Yeah. Good. So that's A. Number 17, a man pays 60 cents for every 200 meter cube of gas used plus a fixed charge. If he pays $170.75 when he uses 55,000 meter cube of gas, how much is the fixed charge? Well, we divide 55,000 by 200 and multiply it by 60 cents or by 0.6. Doing your calculations, crossing your zeros, top and bottom, and then dividing through, like 2 into 0.6 is 0.3, and then 0.3 by your 550, where you're crossing 2 zeros, top and bottom, right? I could obviously do that better. Let me just be a little faster with that. And so you will get 550 I say this by 0.3. Right, so 550 by 0.3, you get 165. And you subtract 165 from 178.75, and you'll get $13.75 as your fixed charge. Plot of land presently valued at $12,000, appreciates in value at the rate of 2.5% per annum. What would be the value of the plot of land 1 year later? Simply put, you put 2.5 over 100 by 12,000, because you're finding 2.5% of 12,000. You'll get $300. Again, cross out your zeros, top and bottom. Okay, and you can multiply 2.5 by 120, you'll get 300. And you add 300 to 12,000, you get $12,300. D. 19, a loan of 8,000 was paid back in 2 years in monthly payments of 400. The interest on the loan as a percentage was, and so much ways to do this. So one easy way is to find how much the person is paying back. So you multiply 400 by 12 by 2, because it's 400 per month and it's 2 years, 12 months in a year. So it's 2 by 12 by 400, again 9,600. The interest will be 9,600, subtract the 8,000 you borrowed to give you $1,600. To get the interest as a percent, it'll be 1,600 divided by 8,000, multiplied by 100%. And 8 and the 16, you could see very well how you'll get 1 over 5, 1/5 of 100 is 20%. And that is D. Okay. Number 20, an article bought for 125 was sold for 175. Profit as a percentage of the cost price was, well, profit is your 175, subtract your 125, you get $50. Profit percent will be your $50 as the profit over your cost price of 125 by 100%. And this will give me 2 over 5. When you reduce it, 2/5 of 100 is 40%. We're going on to algebra now. Product of number 2p on 3 and its reciprocal may be written as, well, reciprocal of 2p on 3 will be 3 over 2p. And we all know product means multiply. So it's 2p on 3 by 3 on 2p. Let's see. 22 refers to the following diagram of a rectangle. Okay, length and breadth there. Area of the rectangle is x squared. So the equation that may be used to find the value of x is, well, we know area, which is x squared, is your length by breadth. So it'll be 2 by x minus 4. So yeah, x squared equal to, open bracket, x minus 4, close bracket. But 2 is multiplied by x minus 4. So that is A. 23. Althea normally saves X dollars per month, but in June she saved $4 more than twice the usual amount. So in June she saved how much? So twice of X will be 2X, and $4 more on that will be 2X plus 4. So for the month of June, this is how much she saved. 2X plus 4. D. 24. 3 plus X on 2 is 1. What's the value of X? Carry the 3 across, and it become what? 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. And then this 2 you carry across. Opposite divide is what? Multiply. So it's minus 2 multiplied by 2. You get minus 4. That's X. That's B. 5 to the power n plus 1 by 5 to the power n plus 2 is the same as, well, we all know you add the powers on top when you multiply once the bases are the same. So n add n is 2n, and 1 add 2 is 3. Alright, so it's 5 to the power 2n plus 3, that's B. 26. If A asterisk B is A squared plus B squared, then the value of 3 asterisk 4 in brackets asterisk 2 is. Let's work out the figures in the brackets, right? So 3 here come like A, and 4 come like B. So 3 asterisk 4 following this formula will be what? 3 squared add 4 squared. That's what? 9 and 16 is 25. So then you will come down to 25 asterisk what? 2. Following the formula again, 25 is now A and 2 is now B. So it'd be A squared plus B squared be what? 25 squared add 2 squared. So that is E. 27, if the determinant, and yes, those two strokes mean determinant. If determinant A is 0, then A is what? Well, often I'm just telling you, determinant of a singular matrix is 0. So just learn that, right? B. If A is equal to all of this, which I'm not going to read, then the order of A is, well, we know order is the number of rows by number of columns. How much rows do we have? We have 3 rows, and we have what? 4 columns, so it's 3 by 4. C. If vectors P and Q are 3, 2, 1, minus 1, 4, respectively, then minus 3 minus 2Q is. All right, no problem. So I try my best here. I couldn't really get the brackets, of course. All right. If I have 3 and 2, that's a matrix here. If I had the minus in front, minus 2 by what? Minus 1, 4. What will that give me? So it's minus 3. Minus 1 minus is a plus. So it's minus 3 plus 2 on top. And below be what? Minus 2 by 4. Minus 2 by 4 is minus 8. So it's what? Minus 2 minus 8. Okay? And minus 3 add 2. As you will know, if the signs are different, you subtract the two numbers. 3 minus 2 is 1. Put the sign of the larger number, which is minus in front. So it's minus 1 on top. And below minus 2 minus 8 is what? Once the signs are the same, you add the two numbers. 2 add 8 is 10. And you put the sign in front, which is minus. So it's minus 1 and minus 10 below. Okay, reason why I'm talking all these rules is because remember in paper 1, you're not allowed to use calculators. So we have to be sharp with those rules. Number 30, 34 in diagram, a triangle OLM, in which R is the midpoint, okay, which you can see here, of OL, all right. Further, OR is 3A minus 2B, and vector OM is 2A add 3B, okay. So we want LM. Now, mind you, I couldn't get the arrows at this point, but LM, or vector LM, will come like what? LO add OM. And LO come like the opposite of OL, which is in vectors we show as a minus. Right? When I say opposite in direction, that is. So LO will come like minus OL add OM, which will be negative of what OL is. And you can see where OL, we have 6A minus 4B. And OM is what? 2A add 3B. Now, in case you're wondering, how did I get 6A minus 4B? Well, OR is 3A minus 2B. So OL will be double that because remember R is what? The midpoint. So I have to double this to get OL. So double of 3A is 6A. And double of 2B is 4B with the minus. Okay, and don't forget the minus outside. So this will be what? Minus 6A. Minus 1 minus is a plus with plus 4B. Add 2A, add 3B. Minus 6A add 2A is minus 4A. And 4B add 3B is 7B. Again, with the minus 6A add 2A, reason how we get minus 4. Once the signs are different, you subtract the two numbers. 6 minus 2, is 4. And put the sign of the larger number, which is minus in front. This is minus 4A, add your 7B. Which is the same as 7B minus 4A. B. So this question definitely was designed to slow you down a little bit. And do not be bothered. Or say in exam, if you're not able to finish within time limit, just skip it and make sure you come back to it. 31 refer to the following diagram, which shows a cylinder with diameter 6 cm and height 20 cm. Volume of the cylinder. We know for instance it's pi by r by height. So it's pi by what? The radius will be half a diameter, which is 3. Half of 6 is 3. So it's pi by 3 by height of 20. 3 3s are 9, and 9 by 20 is 180 pi. So cm cubed. So it's C. 32 refers to the following diagram. It shows a circle centered at O with a sector on the major and minor arcs indicated. Okay. minor arc EF, and the major arc dotted. If the area of the minor arc EOF is 103 cm squared, so that's the area of this sector, then the area of the circle in cm squared is what? Okay, so simply put, we divide 360 by the angle of the minus arc or of the minus sector, that's 60. So it's 360, which is the amount of degrees in the circle, divided by 60. So you find how much slices you will get in the entire circle. So that's why you divide by 60. And you multiply by the area of one slice, which is 103. And we all know 60 into 360 is 6. 6 by 103 is 618. That's D. 33. If it took us about 9 hours to travel this 1,080 kilometers, what was its average speed in kilometers? Wow. Speed is distance on time, and it'll be 1,080 divided by 9. And doing the division, get 120 kilometers per hour. That is C. 34. Length of the sides of a triangle are x, 2x, and 2x cm. Perimeter is 20 cm. What's the value of x? If we add all three sides, you'll get 20. X add 2x add 2x is 5x equal 20. So x will be 20 over 5. You get 4 cm. 35. 50 guests had 2 glasses of champagne each. Each glass held 150 milliliters. How many liters champagne were used? Well, the volume will be what? 150 by 2 glasses per guest by 50 guests in all. That's 100 here by 150 is 15,000 milliliters. And you divide it by 1,000. Cross all the 3 zeros, you get 15 liters. That's C. Square has the same perimeter as a rectangle with length 15 cm and width 11 cm. What's the area of the square? Well, if the square is the same perimeter as the rectangle, let's find the perimeter of the rectangle. It'd be 15, add 11, which is 26, multiplied by 2. Because remember, it's 2 sides each. All right, so it's 26 by 2 is 52 cm. And if this is the same as the perimeter of the square, one side of the square will be what? 52 divided by 4. Because remember, all sides of a square equal. 52 divided by 4 is 13 cm. So over the area of the square side by side, it'll be 13 by 13 is 169. And we have that there, yeah? Cool. So 37, circumference circle is 154 cm. Pi is 22.7, radius of the circle in cm is. Okay, well, we know circumference 2 by pi by r. So 154 is circumference equal 2 by what pi is 22.7 by r. 2 by 22.7 be 44.7. And then we divide the 154 by 44.7, which come like flipping and multiplying the fraction. It'd be 154 by what? 744. And when you do your simplification and division, you get 24.5 cm for the radius. Number 38, distance around a lake is 8 kilometers. On a map, this distance around the lake is represented by a length of 2 cm. Scale on the map is, well, if 2 cm is 8 kilometers, converting that into meters, you multiply by 1,000, you get 8,000 meters. Converting this into cm now, you multiply by 100, you get 800,000 cm. And then you divide by 2 to get 400,000 cm. That's to make sure the units match. Okay, cm to cm. So it's 1 to 400,000, that's D. Okay, so item 39, 40, 44 in table shows the number of books that 58 students bought at a sale. Okay. Mode of the number of books bought is, as you know, mode represents the value that corresponds to the highest frequency. The highest frequency is 13. You're not putting down 13. The value of the number of books that correspond to 13 is 5, so your modal value is 5. That's E. 40. Median number of books the students bought at the sale is. Median number, well, median position, sorry, n plus 1 on 2 is 58. Students in all, so it's 58 plus 1 over 2. That's 59 on 2, get 29.5 value. So we add, going across, 9 at 9 is 18. 18 at 13 will be, that will be 31. Okay, so obviously the 29.5 value or the 30th person will be in here, which corresponds to what? 5. So B is your answer. Item 41 refers to the following pie chart, shows popular games played by a group of students. Okay. If 180 students played football, how many students are in the group? Okay, well, if 180 play football and there's a quarter, multiply 180 by 4 because 4 quarters make a whole. So yeah, 180 by 4 gives 720, that's C. Item 42, 44 in chart, okay, histogram. Shows the amount of fish bought in kg by food 60 customers at a fish market. Okay. How many customers bought at least 6 kilograms of fish? And what we're going to add, 6 and onwards. This will correspond to what, 11. This will be what, 5. So it's 11 plus 5. Add what, 4. Add what, this will be what, 7. Add 3. As you can see down here. When you add this up, you get 30, right? 30 customers, C. 43 refers to the following diagram, shows the cumulative frequency curve, the heights of 20 plants. Okay, interquartile range. These kind of questions do take some time. All right, so this is another question because so your IQR interquartile range is the Q3 minus Q1. Okay, Q1 is your lower quartile value. So lower quartile refers to a quarter of your total frequency, which is 20 plants. Quarter of 20 is 5. So we look for 5 plants, go across and come down, and we'll get 2.6 cm. Again, each block is like 0.4. Okay, because what, 2 divided by 5 is 2/5 of 0.4. So between 2.4 and 2.8, when they come down, they get what, 2.6. Q3 is the upper quartile. The value corresponds to 3/4 of your total frequency. 3/4 of 20 is 15. You look for 15, go across and come down. Okay. And I will get what? 4.4, 4.8, 5.2. This corresponds flat on to 5.2, which is good. And we subtract. Q3 minus Q1, 5.2 minus the 2 point, get 2.6. B. 44 is a lot to read. I will say this. All right, for the following table, it shows the results of a survey. 100 persons from 2 major ethnic groups, P and R, corresponding interviewed for the attitude towards maths. Okay. Corresponding from the ethnic group P is selected at random. What's the probability, that he has a negative attitude towards maths? So with P, negative attitude is 24. So we all know with probability is the number of occurrences over total possible outcome. All right, so number of occurrences that could occur over total possible outcome is 24 over 100. As you would know that 4 into 24, 6, 4 into 125, 625, that's B. 45, the point where the linear function crosses the horizontal axis. So we're going into functions now. That's your x-intercept. That's where the graph cuts the x-axis, right? Horizontal axis, that's B. 46, we the following mapping diagram. Relationship that best describes the mapping diagram is. Clearly we could see more than one dot going to one, so that's a many to one, C. 47, h of x is 3x minus 2 over 5 with h of minus 6. So replacing x with minus 6, so it's 3 by minus 6, minus 2 over 5. That's minus 18 minus 2 is minus 20 over 5, that's minus 4, that's 8. Again, with the minus 18 minus 2, the signs are the same. They add the two numbers, 18 and 2 is 20. They put the minus in front, that's why you get minus 20. Divide by 5, you get minus 4. Okay, A. So 40 and 49 for the following graph quadratic function, okay, has a maximum turning point. Maximum point, you have y equals 4x minus x squared is. Well, the maximum point is what? 2, 4, right? That's D, straightforward. Values of x are the points where y equals 4x minus x intersects y equals 0. Y equals 0 is the x-axis. So they're asking for where the curve cuts the x-axis. That's the roots of the equation. That'll be what? 0 and 4. Okay, 0 and 4. That's E. Which of the following equation represents a straight line? Well, a straight line comes in the form y equal mx plus c. And I could just quickly put that. That's the format for straight line. Okay. And the only one that matches that is C. Even the plus 3 is on this side, I carry it across to become minus 3, and it will follow this format. Once you have xy or x squared or anything of that nature, that's not linear. It's not a straight line graph at all for that function. So C is the answer. 51, which of the following sets is represented by the function f of x squared plus 3, where x a member of the value 0, 1, 2, 3. When x is 0, you plug it in. 0 squared plus 3 is 3. So your first coordinate will be 0 and 3. All of them have that. When x is 1, it'll be what? 1 squared add 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 add 3 is 4. So it's 1 comma 4. All right, so A and C is out. It's either B or D. When x is 2, it'll be what? 2 squared add 3. That's 4 add 3 is what? 7. So it'll be 2 comma 7. You done seen already is D. And if you do the last one, 3 squared is what? 9 add 3 is 12. So it'll be 3 comma 12. So that's D. Okay. A line L is parallel to the line 2x minus 5y minus 8 is 0. Gradient of the line L is. So I took the liberty to explain it here. We want to make y the subject of the formula. And you'll see in a moment why am I doing that. Carry the minus 5y to your right, become positive 5y. So you have 2x minus 8 equal 5y. Then you divide all of this by 5. So you get what? 2/5 x minus 8 on 5 equal y. And you're comparing this to y equal mx plus c, where the value in front of x will be your gradient. And in that case, in this case, so it'll be 2 on 5 is your gradient value. Okay. And parallel lines, we all know how the same gradient. So the gradient of L, which we're saying here is parallel, will also be 2 on 5. That's C. 53, we put the foreign diagram of circle. Okay, O is the center of the circle. The problem, Y is what? Well, I draw a chord from A to B, and I quoted a rule for you all, that the value of the angle at the center is always twice the angle at the circumference, assuming that both angles subtend from the same chord. So I drew in the chord for you all. So what y will be? Twice of 50, which is 100 degrees. D. 54 refers to the diagram below here. PQ and RS, they are parallel, which is from better describe the relation between x and y. X is equal to y. They are alternate angles. They form the Z, okay? That's Z fashion. So x equal to y and alternate angles, we all know, are equal. So that's E. 55, 44 in diagram shows rectangle WXYZ. It's this. And its image, W prime, X prime, Y prime, Z prime, dotted. And W double prime, X double prime, Y double prime, Z double prime, which is this. So there's a double transformation taking place, okay? What sequence of transformations will map rectangle WXYZ onto its image, the rectangle W double prime, X double prime, Y double prime, Z double prime? How am I mapping this object onto this image? Well, it's a reflection about the y-axis to get my dotted rectangle. And then my dotted rectangle is shrunk, right, by enlargement of a half. How did I get that? Well, if this side is 2 blocks and this is 1 block, this means that this was shrunk by a factor of a half. And it was shrunk about the origin. I could maybe just quickly show you how I get that. If I draw a straight line, connecting the points, you would see they all centralize at the origin, right? So the point of enlargement, or in this case, shrinkage, is about the origin. And it's half. So the reflection in the y-axis, an enlargement of a half about the origin. B. 56. In each different diagram, A prime is the image of A. Which diagram show a reflection in the x-axis? Well, x-axis reflection here will be downwards, right? That's it. That's D, right? Reflection downwards. 57. Triangle ABC. A is x degrees. Angle B is 2x degrees. What's the size of angle C? Well, some of the angles in a triangle is 180, so C will be with 180 minus x at 2x. We know x at 2x is 3x, is 180 minus 3x, that's 8. 58 34 in diagram shows the angle of depression of a point x from Z. Okay, it's depression because it's below the horizontal. The angle of depression at the point x from Z is 35, which you can see here. If x is 12 meters from y, which you can see here, xy is 12 meters, what's the height of yz? That's this. Well, if here is 35, here's also 35, but that form alternate angles. And as a result of this, I can say tan 35 is opposite, which is yz, over adjacent, which is 12. So tan 35 is what? Yz over 12. I'm making yz the subject, carry 12 across, opposite divide is multiply. Yz be what? 12 by tan 35. That's D. Item 59, 34 in diagram, right angle triangle ABC. Any right angle triangle above, which trigonometric ratio is equal to 4 and 8? Well, sine x, because sine x is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. That'll be what? 4 over 8. Yeah. You see it here? That's A. And last one, under the translation minus 2, 3, the image of minus 5, 3 is. Okay. So we just add the two vectors together, or if you want to call them matrices together. Minus 2 and 3, add minus 5 and 3. Minus 2 add minus 5. We all know if the signs are the same. You add the two numbers and you put the sign in front. So, 2 add 5 is 7, you put the minus in front. And then 3 add 3 below is 6. So, minus 7, 6. So, C. So, we were able to complete this paper